Dear friends, I'm sitting on a chair besides a small wooden table by my window here on my side in New York City. This is where I do some of my videos from, and from where I write in the early hours. The light comes in slowly at this time of the year, almost shyly, as if asking permission. This morning, before the city woke up, I noticed something I had walked by past 1,000 times. The grain of the wood of this desk, the faint ring left by a cup of coffee, the way dust caught the first sight of gold of the sun. And I thought, with a quiet that surprised me, this too will be gone. The table, the cup, the hand that holds this pen, the pen itself, the one who notices. So, as you know, I'm 79, soon 80 years old, and this thought of impermanence no longer frightens me. It tucks itself in beside me like an old friend who has stopped pretending. Impermanence is not the rumor we feared as children. It is the perfume of being alive. We are taught almost from the cradle to push death to the edges of the room. We hide it behind hospital curtains. I worked in hospitals for a long time. We hide it behind hospital curtains, behind language, behind the relentless busyness of becoming somebody. Deepak Chopra. And yet death is the one appointment none of us will miss. The Upanishads do not flinch from this. Like the ripened fruit, the body falls. Actually, it's very interesting. I wrote this mantra down this morning in my notes. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshya Mamritat. My notes from this morning. So Om, of course, is the universal sound. Triambakam is the three eyes of Shiva. Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam, the fragrance that is emitted when the fruit falls from the vine. Urvarukamiva Bandhanan, cutting the cord from experience that bound you. Mrityur Mukshya Mamritat, moving from the time-bound to the timeless. Beautiful. And so I wanted to share with you. The sages did not say this to terrify us. They said it to wake us up. Because here is the secret that the great traditions have whispered across millennia. It is the certainty of physical death that reveals what is deathless. It is impermanence that shows us that which is eternal. Impermanence is not the enemy of meaning. It is its midwife. In my much younger years, I confused mattering with lasting. If a book sold for decades, it mattered. If a teaching outlived me, it mattered. If my name was remembered, I had been real. This is a beautiful delusion, and it is still delusion. The cosmos does not store names. Galaxies forget their own light. Even the mountains we call eternal are, on the scale of the universe, a quick gesture of stone. The Buddha, Christ, Krishna, Lao Tzu, even these towering presences are translations, fragments, rumors of a flame. So when I sit quietly now, I see the demand for permanence is the ego's last clever costume. The ego says, if I cannot live forever, let at least my works, my legacy, my carefully arranged identity outlast me. It is the same fear, only better dressed. Impermanence rips off the costume, and what remains is astonishing. In the Vedantic version, and increasingly in the quiet edges of neuroscience and quantum theory, what we are is not the body, not the personality, not even the stream of thoughts that calls itself me. What we are is awareness itself, the field in which all of this is appearing. Consider every experience you've ever had, every birthday, every heartbreak, every glance of love, every fear of death has appeared inside the same silent, unchanging knowing. Bodies have changed, cells have died and been remade many times. Beliefs have evolved, lovers have come and gone, and yet the one who knows has never once flickered. This is not metaphysics. This is the most intimate fact of your existence, hiding in plain sight. When the body falls, and it will fall, what dissolves is the form. What does not dissolve is the field. Kashmir Shaivism calls it Chit, luminous consciousness. The Upanishads call it Sat Chit Ananda, being, awareness, bliss. Modern physics gestures clumsily, but sincerely, toward a substrate of pure information, a quantum vacuum that is not empty but full. Call it what you wish. It is what you are, and it is not going anywhere. Once this is glimpsed, the question of what truly matters answers itself, not as philosophy, but as a fragrance. Things rearrange themselves. The frantic clutch loosens. What truly matters is not the size of the life, but the depth of the presence brought to it. A single cup of coffee, I prefer coffee to tea. A single cup of coffee, drunk in full awareness, is more real than a decade lived in distraction. A single honest conversation with my granddaughter is worth more than 1,000 panels and applause. What truly matters is love, not as a sentiment, but as the recognition that the boundary between you and another is finally a story. When I look at someone I love and feel the small ache of knowing they are mortal, I am also, in the same instant, looking at the deathless. Love is awareness recognizing itself across forms. What truly matters is the lightness with which we hold our identities, the titles, the roles, the carefully maintained selves. I've been a physician, so-called teacher, an author, a husband, a father, a critic, according to some, a celebrity, a contrarian, according to others, a man who is on social media, podcasts. None of these are truly who I am. They are weather. The sky remains. What truly matters is attention. Where you place your awareness, you place your life. This is the most underrated mystical truth. To attend to a flower, to a breath, a friend, a difficulty, criticism, vilification, fully without running commentary, is to participate in the sacred. What truly matters is the willingness to be a beginner again. As I approach 80, I'm still learning to meditate, even though I have all these meditation offerings. I'm still surprised by joy. I still get caught in old grooves and have to laugh at the persistence of my own mind. The spiritual life is not arrival. It is endless arriving. I have come to think of death not as an ending, but as a doorway. Not a metaphor, a real doorway of the kind one walks through quietly, leaving the heavy coat of personality at the threshold. And if death is the doorway, then impermanence is the corridor we are already walking. Every breath is a small dying, and a small being born again. The child I was is gone. The man I was at 30 is gone. The person who began writing a few sentences in my notebook is no longer the one that finished it. This could be terrifying, or it could be the most liberating news ever delivered. The Tibetan masters and my friend Bob Thurman, who was a great Tibetan master, just passed through the door. The Tibetan masters say, die before you die, and you will not die when you die. Sit in awareness now and discover that the one who would fear death is already a kind of fiction. What remains is what was always here, open, luminous, unborn, unending. If any of this is to matter, it is to leave the page. So I offer this simply. Tonight, before sleep, which itself is a small rehearsal of death, place one hand on your heart. Breathe slowly. Say inwardly, I am not what passes. I am that in which all passing is known. Then let go even of that sentence. In the silence that follows you, you may notice something that does not need to be remembered, because it cannot be forgotten. That is what truly matters, and that is you. Tattvamasi.